going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. I'm Gumshoe. And I was just sitting there thinking yesterday, day before, today, about how I was when I was a kid. I knew what I wanted at a really young age. You know, like I knew things that I would want into adulthood. Maybe I was lucky because that's something that I had happen. Maybe I was unlucky because of how unlikely some of the things that I wanted are. You know, who knows, really? But I feel like when you're a kid, it's like you have the most accurate representation of you being yourself. Because, you know, you hear these kids, you've talked to children before at some point or another, and you're like, wow, this thing does not have a filter. I wish I could be like that sometimes. But we can't, because it would be rude, or we would be looked at as crazy, or it's too honest. You know, oh, they might look at me different if I said how I really felt or told them what I was really thinking or what I really wanted. And I feel like that's something a lot of people struggle with. I struggle with it. I still struggle with it. There's like 3 examples for me, and these are what made me think of this, because I was like thinking about my next tattoo appointment when I'm going to go set it up. Right? And I was like, when did I want tattoos? When did I start wanting tattoos? And thinking back, it was like when I was like 7. I was like, wow, that was weird. But it's the truth. I remember being on vacation somewhere, and there was this man out. We were all walking somewhere, and I see this guy. He's tattooed all the way down to his knuckles. He's got these big, bright, colorful tattoos on the side of his neck. Like, not like, oh, he's got a little symbol behind his ear. Like, no, these were like big, like the whole side of this man's neck was done. Both sides. And it was colorful. It wasn't like some black prison tattoo or super like dark, you know, black and gray imagery. It was beautiful artwork. The same thing with his sleeves. I'm pretty sure they were Japanese. The neck tattoos weren't, because those aren't typically a Japanese thing, but I know the sleeves were like that Japanese style with the wind bars and the waves and stuff, and pretty sure he had some of those like bright pink flowers. I think they're chrysanthemums, I'm not sure. But I saw those and I was like, wow, I want that when I grow up. You know, I want both sides of my neck tattooed. I want my hands covered in tattoos and my whole arms, and as like a 7-year-old child. But back then it like wasn't cool yet, so it was very rare to see. This was like 2000. You know, 2000, 1999, something like that. But I knew that I was like, that's a direction I'm probably going to go as an adult, because I like it and it's genuinely what I want. The second was I always wanted like a Lamborghini or a Rolls Royce or something. And back as a small child, it wasn't like, oh, I got to impress people. It was just like, this is cool. I like this car. This is beautiful machinery. Like both. I think I had a Rolls Royce poster. I remember being at Walmart with my mother, and we were scrolling through the posters. You know how, I don't know what kids' rooms look like nowadays, but everybody had posters like out of magazines and shit when I was young. You know, we'd have like the Nintendo Power magazines or PlayStation magazines, right? I missed that shit, by the way. Nintendo Power was the coolest magazine ever. I want to go back and get the Pokemon Nintendo Power, the Super Mario 64 Nintendo Power, and the Ocarina of Time Nintendo Power. I wonder how much that would cost me. I want to get them all framed and put them on my wall. That's what I want to do. Anyway. But there would be posters of like upcoming game releases in these magazines, and we'd take them out and get thumbtacks and put them all over our freaking walls in our room, right? I had a fancy car poster, and I was like, I want that when I grow up. And I knew it was expensive, and I know most people don't have them. Even as a kid, I was like, I know most people don't have this stuff. But I want to get there somehow. And I had a little Lamborghini Hot Wheels toy. I don't remember where we got it. It might have been at Disney World. Epcot. Yeah, I think it was Epcot. There was like a crash test dummy ride in Epcot, and I'm pretty sure that's where I got it. I was real young. But I always knew, I was like, I have to do something to take my life that way. Because I didn't know anybody with this stuff, right? I never was around this kind of thing, right? But I knew I wanted to be. And those are both very weird things for like a young child to like want or think about. And I know that. But I also knew and they all kind of tie in together. Maybe not the tattoos as much, but maybe it was because I wanted the fancy cars, right? As a real young kid. But I also like started to realize pretty young that money makes people do crazy things. Money like really skews people's decision making also. Like what they wear, how they express themselves, you know, what they choose to eat on a day-to-day basis, where they live. Like, is their hair done more often than not? Do they have, I don't know. I don't even know where I'm going with that. But I knew I wanted to figure out how money worked and I guess the chess game behind it at a young age. And I'd see these, like, my dad always had the news on when I was a kid, right? And you'd see the stock tickers at the bottom, and I was like, and I would always see like Dow Jones up whatever, down whatever. I remember seeing the '08 crash on the news. The NASDAQ was another one, right? And it was weird because I was like, I know I don't want to be like someone at a bank or wearing a suit all the time or some corporate whatever. I was like, I got to do something on my own somehow. I don't know what, but I got to insert myself into that world because this is where money goes back and forth. And I was like, I got to figure this out. I don't know how, I don't know what, but I got to figure this out. And at around 25 years old, I kind of had an introduction into that world slowly but surely. And, you know, post 30, I'm finally starting to get my shit together. So if you're a late bloomer, I guess, what am I trying to say? Don't give up, right? Don't give up. Now, have I achieved those things? Do I have the Lamborghini? Do I have the Rolls Royce? No, no, I do not. But am I giving up on it? No. I'm finally I feel like I'm finally going the right direction, right? Now, I've gotten a bunch of the tattoos. Haven't gotten the neck yet, but my right arm's pretty much done, and I'm working on my left, you know? And I think my girlfriend is finally warming up to the neck tattoos. She's still, like, iffy about it, but I'm like, look, I've been this way since I was a child. You're stuck with it, okay? If you want to stick with me, I'm sorry. I'm weird, all right? I know it. I think I just rambled about myself for 10 minutes, and the whole point is, like, just don't give up on your dreams. You know, I feel like it's a really stupid thing to say, but I feel like if we want to go to the grave with the least regret, yes, we want to make our family proud. Yes, we want to, you know, obviously be a good person, make your family proud, do right in the world, right? Obviously, those are, like, you just do that as a good human being, right? But if you want to go, I think, personally, if you want to go to the grave with the least amount of regret, is you got to think if you were standing in front of young you, like 7-year-old you, and you had that thought, that little spark, that unfiltered, childlike thought, right? I want to do that. That's basically all it was back then, right? Would you be able to look at them and go, I did everything I could. I gave it my all. I tried with everything I had in me. And even if you don't quite get there and you do okay, you've lived with that pursuit of like, I'm grinding this out. I'm going for this. And I feel like that gives you like some kind of happiness just in reaching towards whatever it was, you know? And I think if you're able to look at that young you in the eye and go, I gave it my best, they probably look at you and go, that's okay. We tried. Or, yes, we did it. I think both of those are the best outcomes you could ever ask for. Because you can't, if you tried, like genuinely tried, you get to say you went for it instead of wondering, you know, what would have happened, what would have been if you hadn't. You know, even if it takes longer or you don't quite know how to get there yet, just keep your eyes and ears open. You never, like, cause I was like 25. I had like, I didn't know what I was going to do. I didn't know what, like, I had no idea. Right. And it shouldn't have taken me this long to start figuring it out either. But I just hadn't uncovered the right information for me to put A, B, and C together in a line and start moving forward until recently. you know? And it's not always easy. This shit, I'll tell you right now, this shit sucks right now, what I'm doing. But I'm getting it. I am right there. I'm figuring it out. And I can see that I'm figuring it out. And stuff's actually starting to come together now. And I'm beyond 30. But little me, little Gumshoe, would be pretty stoked right now. I'll tell you that. I was just thinking about this recently because I feel like everything is finally starting to click for me. Like even this channel, like I've always wanted to do something like this, and I'm just doing it, you know? And I don't know. I just wouldn't let go of that spark, especially with how everything is today, you know? How much negativity's thrown at us all the time. It's got to be something good, right? Anyway, I don't know where that came from. Anyway, Gumshoe signing out. Catch you in the next one.